Hey guys, so we're going to teach you the 4-point strategy for how to shoot a basketball properly. A lot of people know it as BEEF, B-E-E-F. Before we get into that, I'm Jesse Cousins.
I'm Justin.
And we're going to be your instructors on basketball today. Now the video we're doing, what we have in mind for it, is for coaches' purposes and players' purposes on their team. What we're going to do is show you how to use a video camera and video to track your form and track the improvements and the flaws in your form as the season goes along. Okay, but first, before we get into that, we need to introduce the idea of BEEF to you. What do the letters mean and what does it look like? Okay, so first is balance. Balance is absolutely fundamental in basketball. If we were going to say that the camera is the basketball rim and the basketball net right now, this is something of what a balanced shot would look like, okay? So I've got the ball up here, ready to shoot. I've got my feet square, about shoulder width apart, maybe a little closer, and I'm right-handed, so my right foot is going to be slightly offset forward to help me guide the ball on my shot, okay? Balance is key. You have to make sure that your whole body, shoulders, and feet are square to the basket, or you will not have a clean shot. Okay, that's balance. That's your first step. The second step is eyes. So you want to see your eyes on the target. So what that means is you want to lock on to what you're shooting at. For a lot of shots, it'll be best to look at the back of the rim or the far side of the rim from where you are. You don't want to look at the ball. You don't want to look at your hand. You want to keep your eyes locked on the basket. So if I'm shooting from the right corner, I want to be looking at the far end of the basket. There are occasional opportunities where you'll want to shoot to the front of the basket, but we're not going to talk about that for this video, okay? So that's eyes. Make sure they're locked in on the basket. The next part is your elbows. We talked about having your shoulders and your legs locked on the target. You also want to have clean elbows, okay? So you don't want to have them flared out. You don't want to have them flared in. You want to have them clean and set. Okay, that helps you square up and get ready to take your shot, okay? So that's your second E, that's elbows aligned. The last one, you'll hear it called a couple different things. Some people will call it flick, and some people will call it your follow through, okay? It means that when you shoot, you want your hand to come up like it's reaching into a cookie jar, basically. You want it to hang down like you're reaching into a cookie jar. So that's the 4 steps as it's outlined there. Now I'll show you what an actual shot looks like when we're doing BEEF, okay? So I've received my pass, I get my feet squared up, I'm straight to the bucket from where I am, I get that right foot forward, spring down, knees bent slightly, and then bring the ball up, elbow straight, and you follow the shot like that, all right? That's what we're doing. So now what we're gonna do is work on how to trace your form. So obviously, you can't take one shot and come up with what your form would be. If I were doing this as a player or as a coach for my players, I would want to have a minimum of 100 shots and probably somewhere more like 1,000 shots to get a baseline on what your form looks like, what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right, okay? Now I don't have a perfect form, to be clear, but we're going to take like 5 shots here just to demonstrate what you're going to be looking for, okay? So we get locked in, straight, balls up, there's the arc. Same thing here, you can take from another spot. Off the backboard, that's the eyes locked in on the backboard. Looking into the far corner of the rim from here. Knees down, balls up. Bad shot. Up, pass it to the 3. Again, lock it in. Spring down, come up.
Kobe.
Up.
Woo!
There, okay, so now, if I were playing or coaching, what I would do is I would collect those shots and then after practice I would go back and watch them. If I notice my right elbow is coming out to the side a little bit, I'll know that next time I shoot, I want to bring my right elbow in. If I notice that my right foot is a little back or level, I know that I want to correct that to go forward. If my knees are pointed in, I know I need to correct that moving forward. So that's the purpose of this, is to help you track your form throughout a season and help you target your flaws and improve your game. And if you're willing to do this, which takes some time, you will notice the results in a game. When you notice the results in a game, you're gonna make your coaches happy, you're gonna make your scouts happy, you're gonna make yourself happy. That's all I gotta say. Okay, so we went over the BEEF principles just now to introduce you to what they mean. Chances are if you've been playing basketball for a while and you're getting ready to start tracking your shot, you already know what the BEEF principles are, okay? So it's just a reminder, it's balance, eyes on the target, elbows aligned, and then your follow through, okay? Now what we did was we showed you the basics. I took some standstill shots, I took a jump shot from the corner. What we're gonna do now is work on getting into your BEEF principles off of passes and running shots. Now my partner has a broken wrist So the passes are going to be a little difficult. So we're going to do some running shots. It'll simulate catching the ball off the pass though, okay? So what we're going to do here is you're going to see me dribble the ball to a point, and then you're going to see as I shoot, and this will be quick, but as I shoot, you'll see my feet come together, and you'll see me get into my beat positioning for the shot, okay? Okay. So we run in, stop, right foot forward, legs are back, shoot. Same thing from the other side, dribble, shoot. Okay, so the key that a lot of people have difficulty with when they're shooting on the run is keeping their eyes locked in. They tend to either look at their wrist to make sure that they're holding the ball properly, or look at their elbows to make sure they're not in line. What you need to do to become an effective beef shooter on the run is make sure that your eyes move to the bucket. That is the most complicated part to it, okay? So as you'll notice when I'm taking shots, I'll be trying to keep my eyes onto it, but I'm not perfect like that, so sometimes my eyes will come off, and that's why we're videoing. So you'll see. We run, ball's up. So that time was a bad shot because my feet were too close together. That's why we're recording. We come up this way, same thing. Take our shot, eyes on the target. Same time this way. So what's complicated here is coming off of the right step on your shot. So you want your right foot to move forward. So you want to make sure that you're stepping off your left foot, right? Various things like that. That's shooting off of the run with your beef principles.